What you know about these nights? Stacking bars to the free fight. Got my juice in the trees like when it's night, man, I see like no L's, no L's.
My name is Dillon James Barnes. I am the owner, the founder, the academy director, the managing director of DC Academy. I'm 24 years old. It all started off in 1995 in Lewisham Hospital. So I was born in Lewisham Hospital. My early years of life were in Sydenham, so not too far from where my granddad lived and where my mum was living at the time. So we started off in Sydenham. I went to a primary school called Adamsville Primary School in Sydenham until I was in year 4. So then from year 4, I then moved to my current place of living now, which is in Elmer's End. And I moved to a primary school called Blxck Primary School, literally 2 minutes from my house, so it was very easy to get to in the mornings. I joined here when I was in year 4. And it's a very pivotal time in my life because it set the foundations for me as a person I am today, and on the football basis as well. So I was part of the year 5 and year 6 football team at primary school. We won the Croydon primary school leagues back to back. So I think it was the first primary school in Croydon to win the league back to back. And I think that record is still there to this day, which obviously shows you the quality we had in the school football team back then. And it was good, you know, we've done a lot of things, we went to a lot of festivals, played lots and lots of matches. It was a good stepping stone in my football career and also just in my career as a person, you know. And just behind this building here is like a cage over there. So in that cage, every lunchtime, we used to play against the other class, and the other class had a few of the boys from the football team, so it's very competitive, and it's where we learn about how to win games, how to lose games, and yeah, this right here is where it all started for me, really. Pretty much playing football at school, at home, that's pretty much my day-to-day life. One of my friends called Lenzo Zeus, he's been with me since primary school, so we've been at primary school together, we've been at secondary school, we've been at sixth form together, and we're still friends now. So it's probably one of my longest friends I've had. So yeah, was very good academic at Blxck. I remember I got some good grades in year 6, which obviously carried me on to year 7. So when I then went on to year 7, went to a secondary school called Edenham High School. So I remember in year 7 when I started, I was in the top sets for everything because obviously I had done my SATs were good, so they put me in top sets for everything. And at the time, I was also playing Sunday League football. So how it worked out for me is that I used to play the year above because where a few kids down my road used to play for a team called AC Youth, and there was a year above me, and I went and played for that team when I was in year 6. So year 7, I was playing for them as well, but then in year 7, that team folded. So then I went to play for Balgowan, but I played for the year above. So there's a few boys in my year who played for Balgowan, but they played for our actual age group, but I went and played for the year above. So it's a bit different because obviously I wasn't actually playing football with my school friends, but I was playing with people I knew outside of school as well. So yeah, Edenham was a good time in my life. It really developed me as a person. I learned a lot of life lessons there. So yeah, it was a good time. I think my best times in secondary school, probably year 10 and 11. I think they're the years I really matured as a person. I think I got distracted by a few things which didn't help with my grades moving forward, but these are just things that happened in life. So yeah, great time in secondary school. Didn't play any school football then just because I wasn't really interested in playing for the school team in year 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11. And at the time as well, I probably didn't think I was good enough to play for them because there's a lot of good players that played for our school football team, so I just didn't bother with it. I probably mainly just focused on my education and playing outside of school.
Cool.
Yeah, so first day in 2007, I would have been in year 7, and this was my first form room. So in this classroom here, my first form room here. I used to sit, I could tell you exactly where I used to sit. I used to sit right at the front. These are lots of memories, man. I remember my first day as well, I got lost. So I was trying to find the drama room and I couldn't find it. I was going upstairs, downstairs, this way, that way. I couldn't find anything. And yes, man, it's probably about this big. All the year 11 used to be marching, rushing down here. Yeah, so this is where Look, most of my true friends now, so that's where I met Jay Snakes, Lenzo Zeus, Aaron. That's where we formed our friendship around here. It's changed a lot though, like these walls here. We never used to get colourful walls, we used to get plain white ones that had scraps on it. And people used to go in here and get stuck, get excluded, total exclusion. Same thing that lift over there. It's changed a lot. My favourite subject here was probably business studies. I had a good teacher back then called Mr. Stevens, who was probably another pivotal person in my life. You know, he gave me a different view on life. He made me think about things differently in life, and he probably one of the mentors I had back then who's made me and shaped me to who I am today. So it's good being back here. It'll be good. One thing I want to definitely do soon is I definitely want to come back here and do like an assembly or something to the kids to just inspire them and let them know and motivate them about different avenues in life they can take. To know a bit about my life as well, what I used to do here and stuff, and then motivate and promote the youth and give them an eye opener of what life is about. But yeah, it's good. It's good being back here. Yeah, we finished Leadingham High School. Can't remember how many GCSEs I got, but we went to year 12. So I went to Harris Beckenham. I was doing a scholarship program with Fulham at the time, so I was training with them, playing games with them, and then I was doing my education at Harris as well. So I done BTEC Sport. What did I do? BTEC Sport, BTEC Media, BTEC IT, BTEC Business, something like that. I done. And obviously doing the training as well. So I done the education for a year. After that, I decided that education obviously wasn't for me. And I wanted to go more down the football path. So I just, after the 1 year here, I decided to leave and just focus solely on my football. But yeah, it was a good time here. My friend Lenzo Zeus used to come with me here as well. So me and Lenzo used to meet up, used to come here. So I didn't know anyone, none of my school friends went here, just me and Lenzo. So when I come here to a new environment, obviously I had some Fulham scholarship program, which is here as well. But it was good new surroundings. I think it was needed for me in life, to get out of what I'm comfortable with and come to somewhere new. And just meet new people and have different opportunities. I think following on from what I learned at Leadingham, this was very different. The style of teachers were different. The discipline here was different. It was a very environment, very strict as well. So it's good to be back here. It's changed a lot since I've been here as well. I was only here not too long ago, so this whole foyer bit right now that used to be here. We used to, if I remember correctly, there used to be a signing in desk here, like here. It's a sign in here to come in like these doors, and that one here, this area, this one here. But it was good. We had lots of fun here. I met some people here that I still talk to now in my adult life. We had lots of fun here, but one thing I should have made sure I'd done is make sure I took a bit more serious in education. I was too focused on one thing and not the other, so education kind of slipped in that sense. But that's where I knew that I wasn't ready to do education anymore. I think it stopped. There's no point in doing the extended learning. I just wanted to focus on one thing, and this was one thing I decided to drop. But it's nice to be back here as well. Even though I was only here for a small part of my life, but yeah, it's good. It's a nice, different setting than it was at Leadingham. Had a dream that I stopped my education, because all my friends were finding jobs back then. So I had a dream that I stopped my education, I had a job, and I was playing football as well at the same time. So because of that, it really pushed me in the direction I wanted to leave education and just focus solely on my football. So yeah, I was playing football for a bit after, and then I had to go and get a job in the end, just because obviously you get older, things like that happen. So I went and got a job. I was looking for jobs for ages. All my friends had jobs doing business admin and stuff like that and apprenticeships. And then I sat down one day and I thought, what do I really enjoy? So I sat down and I thought, so I really enjoy football, really enjoy sports. So I was looking for sports apprenticeships, and then there was an apprenticeship available at a company called Premier Sport. So I applied for it. And I remember I got the interview, the guy called me on the phone. I think I was at the bus stop, I could hardly hear him. Then he called me in for an interview. I went in my suit. The suit was way too big for me, it was pinstripes. it was a mismatch. It wasn't great. But I went there and I was nervous. I remember I was sitting downstairs in the lobby and I was sweating, nervous. And I went and got the job. Done a 1 year apprenticeship there. So I got loads of qualifications from my apprenticeship there. And I think one good thing about this apprenticeship as well is another person. His name's called Ade. He used to be my boss at the time, and he was a very good mentor as well because he saw something in me which is different. And I think this is why I kind of the person I am now, and it's kind of what I'm doing now is why, because of it. Because other people that come through the door, he was just focused on their coaching, whereas with me, he used to sit me down and talk to me about business and talk to me about how to run a business and how this kind of sector works. So I really took it on board. And then after my 1 year apprenticeship, I was 19 at the time. He sat down with me after it and he gave me a promotion. I was an operations manager for South London. So I think at the time in the whole, because Premier Sports a franchise, I was the youngest operations manager or youngest manager in the whole of the franchise. And obviously the franchise goes from like London to Manchester and all them places like that, all the way up north, whatever. So I was the youngest operations manager at the time, and I was helping like get secure contracts, and I was doing a lot more business sided stuff. And this is when I was like 19 years old, moving on to 20. So so I must have been when I was getting to 20, and I sat down, I think I sat down with my mum and that, and I was talking about my mum how well I'm doing and all this stuff I'm getting in terms of the contracts and that. My mum was saying to me, why don't you just go and do it? If you're doing this on your own, if you're doing this for him, why don't you go and do it for yourself? So I took it on board because I thought if I am doing it for someone else, why can't I go and do it myself? So then I had a sit down, had some planning, made a business plan, done some research and that, and then I was thinking, I need to just go for it. So I had to think of the name, think of like how it's going to run and stuff like that, and then I just needed some capital to run the business because I was going to leave there and work on this full time. So then I was going to go to the bank and get a bank loan to obviously fund the capital for the first few months of it, and obviously getting it set up for the business. And then I went to my granddad's house, and obviously I told my granddad about what I'm doing and stuff. I told him I'd go to the bank, and he was like, don't go to the bank, Dillon, because he said, business is hit and miss. If it doesn't go right, you're going to be in a lot of debt and it could go wrong. So he was like, here's some money. He was like, just give it back to me. I want it back. Let's give it back to me when you start making money. So it was a lot. That was obviously a safer option. There was no risks involved. Because obviously my granddad that owns the money. So my granddad gave me the money to start up the business. So I bought loads of equipment. Some of it I still have now. I bought kits. And a lot of it just went into marketing and venues as well, because the first thing we started to do was Saturday soccer schools. So we done Saturday soccer schools, me and a coach I had at the time, who was only part-time. So we done Saturday soccer schools, which we still do now. So the first day I remember it was at Bromley College. We do them. We don't do them there anymore, but with facilities and that. But it's at Bromley College, and the first time we done it there, we had 3 kids come. I think it was 3 kids, and I was kind of happy because, I thought, I got 3 kids through the door, but then I was thinking, we need to be a bit better. We need to do something better. So then I marketed. And now we've got, on a Saturday, I think we've got about 25 over 3 age groups. So we've got about, 75 kids on a Saturday now. We did have more before, but obviously some had left the age group and stuff. So, there's a progress there. And then, obviously, that was what the main thing I used to do. And then obviously what I used to do my day-to-day is contact schools and that. And then I got into my first school. I can't remember what school it was now. It was a school in Bromley I was working in. And I got a gig there for an after-school club. Now we work in primary schools over London, Kent, Dorking. I've got one in Manchester. We're just trying to obviously globalise like that. And then so I've been doing that since 2016, and it was mid 2018 where the one thing I wanted to do, which I've had a passion for ages, was a football academy. So I've always wanted to do a football academy, but I knew it was something that needed a lot of time for it, and obviously with the school stuff and obviously how quick that's progressing, how well we're doing with it, I knew I didn't have time for it myself. So I was always looking for someone who I knew I could trust to manage it on their own without my full attention. So there was someone I used to work at Premier Sport called John. Some know him as Jide, some know him as John. Obviously, it's Jide to me, but most people know him as John. And he was someone who had a good footballing background, was a great coach, and someone I could really trust. So I contacted him in 2018, and obviously told him about the vision I had about the football academy, how I wanted it to run, and he obviously had the same idea as me. So I said to him, you know, I want you to manage the whole football academy. I want you to run it. I want you to do what you can with it. So I was working on the trials. We had some trials, and John was working for another company at the time. So there was loads of trials that was going on. And then, the football academy wasn't as easy as it was meant to be. It was meant to be with a club called Chatham Town at the beginning. And obviously they kind of snaked us. They took my whole idea and ran their own one, which kind of hurt. So then I had to be very secure on my plans. So then I went to Lambeth College, was meant to do one with Lambeth College, and then they pulled out last minute because of some Ofsted reasons. And then it was really the beginning of 2019 that we had to really push for it. So then we contacted a few companies to do the education, and we contacted a club called Peckham Town. And then, Peckham Town was up for the idea. So then we decided to collaborate and launch an academy with Peckham Town to run a full-time education academy with them for the 2019-2020 season. We had a good few trialists come along, attend our trials. And then from there, we had our pre-season camp, which we had at New River Sports Ground in North London. So we had a pre-season camp there for 6 weeks or 5 weeks. And that's where we picked a lot of our boys on that are currently on now. So like our club captain, Kyren, superstar Amadou, Freeman, we all picked them up from the pre-season camp. And they were the boys who really wanted to drive the academy forward. And I think them having a good pre-season of us is what's led to us on a good season now. At the Palace National Sports Centre now, this is where our academy boys are currently training. So right now, we're just sitting inside the Crystal Palace Athletic Stadium. So for next season, we was looking to have this stadium here as the home ground for our football academy, and also the Sunday League team we've got happening for next season as well. But there's just a few issues inside that we need to just deal with first. Hopefully we can come back here for next season as well. As you can see, it's a decent place. It's what we're looking for to progress as an academy and as a team as well. At the moment, just behind the National Sports Centre over there, there's an indoor dome and a 3G pitch as well. We're using as an outdoor one. So the boys are currently training there Monday to Friday, obviously not including Wednesdays. Just because of the weather, as you can see today, it's really bad, the weather. So having the 3G facilities really helps us. For next season, we'll probably look to stay there the whole season as well, just because obviously the facilities are good here. So we want to just try and obviously keep our training as better as we can. So this is where we're kind of based at the moment. We still play our home games at Penners, which is in Dulwich, but for training, we just train over there in the 3G dome and on the 3G pitch, so it's still relatively close to home. But this is where the boys come day to day, and this is where the foundation of DC Football Academy I've been laid for now. So and then we fast forward to now. I mean, a few weeks ago we just launched a big deal with Puma. So then when our partners are Puma, we've just launched a Sunday League Football Club as well. And we've got other things in the pipeline, which obviously is only going to get bigger and better for the club. So for the small amount of time we've been around, which is only since 2016, so in 4 years we've gone from having, three kids turn up on a Saturday football class to having a very established sports academy that work in schools all across the boroughs in London. I have numerous staff working. We also have a football academy as well. We're looking to launch the fitness academy very soon as well. We've come a long way. And the message I want to give out is that if you want something, you need to make sure that you work hard for it. And you don't let anyone tell you that you can't get something. Because like my granny always says, and there's a great mentor of mine as well, is that don't ever take advice from someone who hasn't done it before. Because if they're that easy, they would have done it by now. So if anyone's giving you advice about something, just trust the source it's coming from. If they're just no one, or it's someone who hasn't got a clue, don't really trust what they're saying, because like I said, if it was easy, you would have done it already. And just got to make sure you work hard. If you've got something you're good at, if you've got a skill you're good at, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's playing football, whether it's boxing, whether it's being a scientist, just make sure that you always knuckle down, make sure you're focusing. And if you really want to dream, you've got to make sure you put the hours in, you work hard. Because if you don't work hard, you're not going to be able to succeed in that dream. Talent only gets you so far. The commitment you put in is what gets you your dream and builds you as a person. So that's the message I want to put out. You know, if you've got something, grasp it and work as hard as you can on it until there's no more left to work for, because you got the dream already. And don't ever let anyone tell you can't do something. But yeah, this is the life of Dillon Barnes, aka.
What you know about these nights? Stacking bars to the 3-5. Got my juice in the trees, like when it's night, man, I see like no else.